Revival for Recovery is a nonprofit organization started by founder Carrie Dietz, who used her struggle with addiction to turn it into a positive outcome by helping others. Their goal is to break the cycle and stay strong through community. Join us in the next 30 minutes as we hear all about their efforts right here in Harford County. I'm Christy Breslin, and this is Harford MagaScene. I'm so excited to be joined by my friend Carrie Dietz. Carrie is the founder for Revival for Recovery, and she's here to tell us about their humble beginnings, her story. She has a story that really plays into how Revival for Recovery started, and other people that are willing to share their struggles as well, and of course, all the hope that is out there, because recovery is possible. Carrie, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor, really. I truly appreciate it.
Now, Carrie, tell me, what really inspired you to begin Revival for Recovery?
So growing up with an alcoholic mother and going through my own struggles with alcoholism, making it out on the other end of that, I really wanted to be able to help other people in our community realize that they can be present with their children, present with their families, be more creative and more outgoing with their jobs, and really be able to focus. I can be 100% honest with you, like my clarity is just so much better than it was before when I was in that fog. And a lot of people get stuck in those certain ways and they can't get out of it, and they don't realize that there's help for it. Just like myself, I didn't realize that there was the help that there was out there. And I know you may know that Harford County is known for their recovery, and there are really wonderful resources. And so once I started working and getting in the field and being a peer recovery specialist, I just had a real passion for it, and I wanted to start my own nonprofit and help as many people as I possibly could, to be honest with you. And I know I'm not going to be able to help everyone, they got to want it, but if I can help them and steer them in the right direction and give them the right resources to get where they need to go, I want to be able to do that for them. So yeah, it's been a really humbling experience. The community, the people that I've met in this community, the people that I've met in recovery are just some of the most kind, genuine people I've ever met in my life, and I'm really just so blessed to be a part of the community. I really am.
Now, Carrie, all the work that you have done, like your journey, has influenced the work that you're doing today. How has it made a difference?
Well, I think it's made a difference because it makes people feel like recovery is possible, and that you can still have fun and go out and do things with your kids and family and not have to drink or drug. And that's what it's about, making people realize that this journey, you're not alone on that. There are plenty of people that have been through these things. You just have to find the right people that, you resonate with. And that's what it's about. It's about finding those people in the community that know how to help you and be there for you. And with our nonprofit, we bring these people together and we offer clothing. We do donations for toys at Christmas for children who have parents that are in recovery. We do a coat drive. We do a handout where we do cookie trays throughout the community during the holidays. We really love to do like the social sober events. So we do a big event where we have live music, and we have different local restaurants cater the events, and we do raffle baskets, we have a DJ, we have a photo booth, and we want these people to realize that they can have a good time in this community with other like-minded people. And I go to a lot of networking meetings, having my photography business, and I do a lot of networking, and people know I'm in recovery, and there used to be this stigma, really bad stigma, and I do feel like it is getting better. But these people, they might not necessarily be in recovery that are in these networkings, right? But they know my story and they respect me, and they see that, like, wow, this woman went through all this and had this alcoholism take over her life, and then she turned her life around, has her kids, has her photography business, opened a nonprofit, and like, wow, look at that, you know? And so if she can do that, other people can do that. And so my thing is, I really want people to understand is these people didn't ask for that. They didn't ask to be an addict. I didn't ask to be addicted to alcohol. A lot of people don't realize that alcoholism is a disease. It's no different than having a disease like cancer. With cancer, you treat it with medication. If you get the right treatment with alcoholism and substance abuse, same thing. You just need to go to, let's say you go to rehab, you go to a detox program, you go to a sober living house, these different steps that you have to go, you know, on this process, your journey, what have you, whatever you would like to call that. And when you have that support from them, from the community, you know that you can do this.
Now, this interview is very timely because September is Recovery Month. So talk more about what that entails.
Well, first of all, everyone needs to wear their purple on September 19th because it's Recovery Month, and that day is going to be where everyone's wearing their purple. So throw on your purple on Friday. Really be supportive of our community. It's wonderful. Voices of Hope is kicking off the first event on August 31st. And there is, Christy, I'm telling you, my calendar for September, it is just probably got about 20 events on it. The community really comes together. All the different nonprofits for recovery come together. We do different events. Revival for Recovery is having an event at Rockfield Manor. The locals catering it. We have live music. It's on September 10th. It's a Wednesday. We do bowling, we do softball. I mean, we really get the community out and bring everyone together. So there's like an event pretty much, you know, if not once, twice a week. The homecoming gala, I mean, it is just a fun time.
Now, Carrie, you talked about community. What role does faith play?
So for me, I wouldn't be here if I didn't have my faith. You know, almost lost my life to alcoholism, and for me, God saved me, and I'm forever grateful. I thank Him every single day for that. I wouldn't be sitting here if I didn't have faith. Both of my children are raised in a faith-based household, and I think it's very important for whoever you believe your higher power is.
Now, what impact are you seeing in the lives of people that you have helped in their recovery journeys?
So for me, when I get a woman who is just coming fresh in, like I go and speak at different facilities, so I'll actually go and speak at a detox facility. So I'm getting these women fresh. They're in detox 7 days. They haven't even went to a rehab. They're just detoxing. So they're just coming in. They haven't went to sober living. They haven't done these other stages yet. So they're coming in broken, and they're in a really, really bad way. And I'm vulnerable with them. I'm raw with them. I tell them, I don't sugarcoat it. I tell them exactly how it is. And they respect that. And they can tell that I'm being serious with them. That when I share my story with them, I just got chills, but when I share my story with them, they're like, that's how my life was. Like that's exactly how my mom was, or my dad was like that, or my sister, or whatever, or I have a family member that treated me that way, or because people don't realize the trauma that comes along with that, right? And so when I'm working with these women, and then you see them go through this process, and you see them so broken in the beginning, and then you see the light back in their eye, that's what it's all about for me, and that's what keeps me going, right? They're like, you helped me so much. I'm like, you help me so much. Like, you keep me going. And that's why it's just so wonderful, because it's kind of like a give and take, where they're at. You've been there. I've been there, So that's why you kind of feed off of each other, and empower, you empower each other. You're like, you can do this. I never thought I could do it. And look, I did it. And I know you can do it. And I'm here to help you every step of the way with those resources, with whatever you need. If you're in a bad spot and you need to talk to somebody, you can call me.
Carrie, thank you again so much. What you're doing is so inspiring, and sharing your story, it's just so brave. So thank you again for all that you're doing to help all of these wonderful people.
Absolutely. Nothing but kindness, and I really appreciate you being part of our community. And I also want to thank Grounded Coffee today for letting us use their beautiful space. And again, thank you so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Well, we've got a lot more to come, and just remember, sharing your story, it could be someone else's survival guide. So stay with us. You're going to want to hear this interview coming up next. I'm now joined with Lacey Shekels. She is very involved with both organizations, and I believe you're a house manager, Lacey? What does that mean?
Yes, ma'am. It means that I just oversee everything going on there at the Lily House. I'm a resident there, so I'm a 24/7 overseer of all the other residents. I just make sure that everything's going smooth and everything's running smooth. Heidi's aware of everything that's going on. I just keep people kind of in line.
Now, Lacey, how did you first connect with Carrie for Revival for Recovery?
I connected with Carrie through a meet and greet at the Lily House that she came over and offered some services that she provides and resources that she provides to the Mommy and Me program and other resources in our network. So that's how I connected with Carrie through the Lily House program, the Mommy and Me program that we're at.
Now, what role did Carrie play and Revival and Recovery play in your recovery process?
It plays a huge role. It did play a huge role. It still plays a huge role, and I continue to be a huge role, I hope. She just offered a photo shoot that was a before and after photo shoot of like before addiction and after our addiction, which was very rewarding at the same time as very enlightening. So that just makes me want to strive to do even more and more recovery just to get even farther.
Lacey, let me ask you, what was your motivation for seeking help when you knew that you hit rock bottom?
To be honest with you, it was my daughter, to give her a better life and to try to set up better opportunities that I couldn't have given her in my addiction and that I didn't give her in my addiction.
What message would you share with someone that feels like recovery isn't possible? Did you ever feel like that?
During my recovery or during my addiction, I always felt like recovery was never an option for me. I kind of always accepted that that was part of my life. And I think recovery is for anyone and everyone that's ready for recovery. And I think it's definitely always possible for anybody.
Well, Lacey, tell me a little bit about what your future looks like today compared to where you were before you sought treatment.
Before seeking treatment, there was no future for me. And today, my future is much brighter and clearer. And every day, I see more and more of that future opening up. And it's just so encouraging, just so rewarding for me. I just love it.
What kind of inspiration have Heidi and Carrie been for you?
Heidi and Carrie have both been big, huge inspirations in my life, in my recovery, and on my journey. I strive to be more and more like Heidi every day. She is like the biggest role model for me. I call her the matriarch of our family. And then Carrie's like just her side, right side to her. So it's just perfect. It just goes hand in hand, and they're a big, huge part of my recovery. I love it.
Now, Lacey, you attend a lot of the events throughout the county. Anyone in particular that you're excited about?
Oh, I'm so excited to attend the Revival for Recovery, A Courage to Rise, September 10th, coming up. It's through Carrie. So we're all going to be attending that, and we're all very, very, very excited.
Lacey, thank you so much. And like I've said, sharing your story is not easy. And what you're doing to inspire others to get help is so commendable. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was so nice to meet you.
Great to meet you.
Yes.
And coming up next, we're going to meet one of our board members that's going to tell us more about the mission of Revival for Recovery. Stay with us. Chrissy Oswald joins me now. She is very active in Revival for Recovery. She's a board member, she's a sponsor, and she has a story of her own regarding sobriety. So she joins us now to tell us more. Hi, Chrissy.
Hi.
Now, Chrissy, let me ask you, how and why did you decide to get involved with Revival for Recovery to support them, be on the board, and also be Carrie's mentor?
Well, I will say that, when I first met Carrie, I knew her infectious spirit right away. She was more of a newcomer. I met her at a meeting. She was more of a newcomer coming up to me, and I had 6 years at the time in recovery. And, her coming up to me and expressing to me about different meetings to go to and wanting to just be in contact with me. And then I knew that right away that her infectious spirit was just something that I wanted to give back and to become her sponsor. She asked me to be her sponsor. And I knew that I just believed in her her cause. When she told me about Revival for Recovery, I believed in the fact that she wanted to reach out to community. You know, I really believe that the opposite of addiction is connection, and I really feel like Revival for Recovery keeps that connection in the community, and it's just such a great cause, and I wanted to get more involved in the community, and Carrie's really helped me to do that.
Oh, absolutely. Now, you have your own recovery journey, and that shaped the way you serve and lead in this new recovery community. So talk about that.
So my recovery journey definitely influenced the way that I serve and lead, just because I spent the first 2 months of my recovery in jail. And I learned very early on that you can't have prejudice in when it comes to addiction. Like addiction, alcoholism, it does not have a prejudice. And I had to let go of any judgments, preconceived notions that I had about people. So when I serve in the community, like I keep an open mind, and I know that anybody and everybody is welcome to this miracle of recovery. So that helps me lead.
What do you hope people really take away from learning more about this organization and how it can really help people get back on their feet?
I hope that it inspires people to know that being in recovery is truly a miracle, and that it's okay today, that it's something that should be celebrated instead of shunned upon. And knowing that the more that we can talk about it and be open about it and invite all of the community to be involved, we will let go of that stigma that surrounds people in recovery.
Well, the other thing is, Revival for Recovery has some very unique strengths. What would you say those were?
Well, I would definitely say being all-inclusive. I've been to every single one of the Revival for Recovery events, and knowing that they make everyone from the newcomer, it doesn't matter what fellowship you're in, or even if you're in a fellowship at all, knowing that they invite everybody from the community and all-inclusive. And, when I came into AA and when I came into recovery, I really needed to learn how to love myself. And they say that the people in recovery will love you until you can love yourself. And I feel like that's what Carrie's Revival for Recovery does for the community. They teach people how to love themselves again.
Oh, absolutely. And the importance of women supporting women. What would you have to say about that?
Well, definitely as a woman in recovery, when I came in, I needed to learn how to not only love myself again, but just how to be a daughter, how to be a mother, how to be a friend, how to be an employee. And I had a 7-year-old son, and the women surrounded me in the meetings and in recovery, and taught me how to be a mom, and taught me how to have patience again, and taught me how to accept myself, forgive myself, be in this recovery field without shame. So definitely very important.
Chrissy, thank you so much. And like you've talked about, community partnerships and involvement are essential to the success of this organization, and we're going to hear more about that next. But thank you so much for sharing your story and all you do to help this wonderful organization.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Stay with us. Now, you may remember Heidi Gerard. She is the founder of Chrysanthemum Moms, and she did a show with us about recovery a couple of months ago, and now she is partnered with Revival for Recovery, and they're doing wonderful things in our community. Heidi, thanks so much for being with us again.
Thank you for having me.
Heidi, how did the partnership between Chrysanthemum Moms and Revival for Recovery, how did that first come together?
It came about because Carrie and I had known each other previously, and she actually was a big part when I first started the Lily House, which is part of Chrysanthemum Moms. And she, when I opened the house, she was like, "What can I do for you? Can I do anything for you?" And then, she started Revival, and it just all came together perfectly after that. It was just, we're very mission driven around, what our missions are. And so it all just came together perfectly.
Now, Heidi, what would you say, why is collaboration between recovery organizations so vital for long-term healing?
It's very important because even though we're all recovery focused, every nonprofit, every recovery organization we all have one goal, and then that's to help the person. So everybody has a different niche. They're able to help in different ways. So some may be more, as we're focused with women and children, some may be focused around another thing like mental health, and together we can do more for that one person. And then they're also building a bigger network. So the Lily House has the people that are involved with us. Carrie is an addition with Revival, and then there's so many amazing other nonprofits and other organizations that they're able to just build this very strong recovery network.
Can you share a story or an example of someone that has worked with both organizations and had a positive outcome?
Sure. So Carrie, through Revival for Recovery, she hosts these amazing events where people can come together and they can get together. And unfortunately, a lot of our ladies they haven't been able to go to these events and these kind of places that are like farms and do things that Carrie is offering. I know one of our girls, we went to her last event and there was a speaker, and being outside on a farm and listening to the speaker, it was just a different experience for her. I know it meant a lot. Another example is Carrie, through Revival, she did a photo shoot for our ladies. It was like a before and after. This is what we look like in these before pictures. Here we are today. She did these beautiful photos, and we had one mom who came with her daughter. And the experience for her, was the first time she had ever had a professional photo taken. So to be able to stand up there and dress nice and feel good about herself and hold this picture of who she used to be and who she is today, have her daughter watch it, it was a very life-changing and beautiful experience for her. And today she can look at those pictures and just feel, she remembered that moment, she'll remember getting ready for that moment, and it helps encourage her moving forward of where she was and who she is today. It's a beautiful thing that Carrie can offer through what she has.
Now, Heidi, there is a lot of people, they're hesitant to get help. What would you say to encourage them to take that next step and get the help they need?
There's no life like life beyond addiction. And, it's cliche when you hear people in like a 12-step fellowship say, I'm living life beyond my wildest dreams. What is beyond someone's wildest dreams? It's not we live in luxury mansions and drive, BMWs and have sports cars. A life beyond someone's wildest dreams can mean waking up, taking a shower, having a place you call your home, going to work. For some people, they've never worked. They've always been on the street. They've always been looking and finding the ways and means to get more. And to wake up and have a purpose and to go to work and to take your child to school and pick your child up and do homework. And, that is a life beyond your wildest dream. It's just what people would think is normal. Is for some people something that all they want to do is have that kind of normal.
Heidi, thank you so much. And like I said, it's so brave of you to come forth and share your stories, and you give your heart and soul to helping all these people, and it just means so much to our community. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
As promised, we're now joined by Dustin Dietz. Not only is he a mentor for men, but he is the very lucky husband of Carrie Dietz, the newlyweds. So happy for you guys. Congratulations. So not only are you newlyweds, but you're working so hard to help Revival for Recovery expand in Harford County.
Yes, we are. Yep.
Now, Dustin, you have a recovery story yourself. Tell us a little bit about that.
It started for me in 2021 after going through a divorce. I caught 3 DUIs within 7 months. The last one I caught, I fell asleep at the wheel, ran into a truck that was parked in front of a house that had a mother and 2 children in it. I woke up the next day in the hospital with handcuffs on my hands, and that was enough for me to really start kind of looking into myself.
Well, you are a mentor for men, and you support men in the community through the recovery journeys. How do you do that?
Well, I really try to embrace the men, especially the ones that are freshly coming into the program and trying to figure out who they are. I know it was important to me, especially early on in recovery, to have strong men that I can look up to as mentors. And I needed that because I lacked that as grown up without having a father that was very active in my life. So I really gravitated to the guys in the program that really stood out amongst the crowd, that really had things that I wanted. And I just want to be that way for men that are coming into the program as well. And, I think just giving them positive affirmations, just being a shoulder to lean on when they need something, and just being strong and confident and teaching them how to be confident within themselves to figure out who they are.
Well, not only that, but mentorship and male accountability. That's important in lasting recovery, right?
It is, yeah.
And how has being a part of Revival for Recovery and supporting your wife's mission, how has that really helped you shape your own recovery?
Well, I think it really challenges me in a part where I have to be more accountable for myself. We're going to different events. We're in different limelight than when I was just kind of just doing the program myself or working recovery for myself. It just holds me more accountable because I want to be able to stand out for these guys that are going through the process themselves. I want to be able to have that outlook on them as when I was early on as well.
Well, there's a lot of men out there that are suffering silently.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of message would you give to them?
I would just let them know that there is help there and just to get out of your own way. There's, I think a lot of men want to help, they just don't know how to ask because their ego and their pride gets in the way with it. And unfortunately, they're just prolonging a situation that's going to need to be done anyway. So, just ask for the help. If you don't know where to go, there's always all kinds of resources for each county or each state that you're in that can help you, guide you through it.
How do you and Carrie support each other in your shared commitment to the recovery community?
We hold each other accountable. Well, we're both in recovery, so that really helps out. We both did a lot of internal work within ourselves to help change some bad characteristics that we were carrying amongst our addiction or alcoholism. And I think that really helps out because, when we're having a bad day or if one's having a bad day and the other one isn't, we know how to kind of coincide with each other to help us, the one person that's having it go through this process of learn how to deal with the emotions. We hold each other accountable. It's just what it is, I'm a big believer you are who you hang out with, and I'm lucky to be married to someone who's in recovery, and that really helps with me because we both can relate to a lot of things. So it's not like one person's not suffering with addiction and the other one is. We both know the past we were down and how we can help go guide us through these challenges that we might face. So I think just having each other's backs through these things and learning how through the process of being spiritual has helped also with us, and we just keep God amongst us first in our household, and that really helps out too.
And Dustin, I'm going to ask you about this as well. Talk about where you were 5 years ago and talk about where you are now.
5 years ago, I was isolated during COVID. I was drinking about a half gallon of rum a day. And, I was really struggling with a lot of my own demons. Where I'm at today, I can say it's just been a blessing. My soul is a lot more calm now. I own my own business. I got married to a beautiful woman, and, things are just better. And that's really just started with me asking for help and taking that scary step of trying to go through this process that I was so scared to do. And, and it takes time, but, you just got to give yourself time. And that's the problem that a lot of guys and women don't do. They get into recovery and they don't give themselves enough time to really figure out who they are before they go out into the world again.
Dustin, again, thank you so much. You and Carrie and everybody from Revival for Recovery, really so brave sharing your stories and giving so much of yourself to help our community members.
Thank you for having me, Christy.
Well, thank you for being here. And just remember, recovery is possible. This is living proof. There is always hope out there. Never be afraid to ask for help. And all the funds raised for Revival for Recovery go back to the recovery community. If you would like more information on the good work that they do, you can visit them at revivalforrecovery.org. I'm Christy Breslin. See you next month on Harford MagaScene.